Sarah's a fan of lists. I think I've told you before that if you walk by our dishwasher, there's always like 2 or 3 lists going on, grocery lists, things to do list, people to call list, whatever. I like lists too, but most of the lists are in my head. I think it actually works though when you put it on paper, because then you don't have to remember, you never forget, and it gives you some direction. When you have a vague idea of what you're going to do, that's one thing, but if you actually have a list of things to do, it makes a lot more sense. That's true in spiritual things too. If you say to somebody, be good, well, you have an idea of what that means, but it would be nice to have a list that says, don't do this, do these things. Fortunately, we have such a list. Colossians chapter 3 starts off a very practical section of this book, and the Apostle Paul says that because you've been baptized with Christ, you need to put to death these things, and you need to clothe yourselves with these other things. And so tomorrow we're not going to look at the details of each of those things. We're going to just look at the lists in general and kind of compare the attitudes and stuff. The sermon is called Set Your Hearts on Things Above. And I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be really good. Unfortunately, again, we're not together. This has happened again. We've been shut down. And so we're trying to do something a little bit different this time, at least a little more helpful to you anyway, in terms of the Lord's table. In the past, I didn't do anything with that. I just did my sermon and left you to do the table by yourself. This time I recorded some prayers for the tables and some thoughts as well. So that's at the end of the sermon. So if you want to get Lord's table stuff ready, we'll tie the thoughts of the sermon to the table. I'll do that every week for the next few weeks until we're able to be back together again. But if you typically do the table and you'd like to record a portion to tag on to the end of my sermon, Trinda's offered to help us do that. So get back to me if that's something you're interested in doing. Maybe we can get a few more voices on our little sermon videos here as well. One last thing, Janice Tucker called me and said that she's looking for the little bottles that we had the grape juice in. There's 8 of them missing or something. Maybe a few of you took them home just to use your own over and over again. So if you did, please call Janice. She's looking for some of those. Anyway, that's all the housekeeping stuff. The sermon is called Set Your Hearts on Things Above. I'm really excited about it. Colossians chapter 3, I think it's going to be really good. I'm sorry we're not together, but we can be together and think about each other, give each other a call, keep track of one another. Take care.